Hey girl, hey, it is Candace with a K, and today I am giving my review of First Lies Wins, okay? I'm gonna start off by not giving any spoilers, so I'm gonna just give you my general opinions of the book, but if you stay to the end, I'm dropping all of my tea, okay? So if you are interested, please keep watching. So we're taking a brief pause in this video to inform you that for all of my fashion girlies, you need to go head over to BALAAN's website right now. Many designer items are 50 to damn near 70% off, okay? I scored this beautiful Fendi bag over there for more than half the price. Baby, the price was too good, okay? They have so many cute items. They have something for everybody. So I'm sure you will find something. Go ahead, head over there now. I will also have a coupon code down below that will give you 5% off. So you can use Candace5 at checkout for 5% off. It might not be a lot, but it's a little something, okay? And you can get cute little things like this. So go ahead and head over to there right now. I have been seeing this book all over my Instagram, all over TikTok, because First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston is a Reese Book Club book. Now, you know when Reese puts her sticker on that cover that it is probably, more than likely, going to be a very, very good book, because Reese really does a very good job of curating her book club. So I have been interested in it and I never got around to it. And then when it finally dropped, I was seeing too many mixed reviews, which kind of led me to believe, okay, this might not be the thriller for me. I'll hold off on it. Fortunately enough, my book club decided to read this book for the month of January. And so I was like, cool, because I've been wanting to read this one, but never got a chance to it. So I'll finally get into it. And I've got some thoughts. First off, let's just talk about the cover. Now, for me, something about the green and the blue together, I really like. So that was a good design choice because the words really do pop off the page. And it makes you really keep the title at the forefront of your mind. Not to mention that the title is in the text, but that First Lie Wins is like constantly like boom, boom, boom. It's constantly at the top of your mind, right? As a Black woman, I always try and imagine the characters being Black, because that's what I can relate to. That's my experience. But for this book specifically, I don't know why, but I just knew them was white people. And I mean, they are, and that's fine. But I just, from my own point of reference, as I visualize when I read, I think everybody's Black. But this one was definitely white people. And so this house on the cover specifically gave me like suburbia. So it works. And then when you see the body just standing in the doorway, I thought this would be more like type thriller, but it's more psychological thriller, which is okay. So the description, which is on Amazon, reads, Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. The identity comes first, Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and a location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people. Then the mark, Ryan Sumner. The last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened last time. Evie Porter must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. So off the bat, you already know it's a mess, because you've already told me she's messed up once, she can't mess up again, and she's got this new mark. Great intro to it. And I think this summary really gives you a nice taste of what this book is about without giving too much away. And so that was very well written. So before I get into really the nuts and bolts of my review, I will kind of just stop here and say that I ended up giving this book only 3.5 stars, because while the pacing of the book was well, I felt like it gave us a lot of information that didn't conclude and wrap up by the end of the book. And if you stay tuned, you'll hear what I mean. So at this point in the video are the spoilers. So the book goes back and forth in time, which isn't too hard to keep up with because it's chunked out very well. So Ashley did a very good job with that. In those first few chapters, we get a glimpse of who Evie Porter is now as she is canoodling with her boyfriend, who we don't know is her Mark. And then we get a little bit of her growing up story, or her upbringing, which is being a child of poverty as well as a sick mother. So I completely understand Luca's positioning, in which poverty will push you to do just about anything, and especially things out of the ordinary. So if you are good at stealing, why not make some money off of it, right? But no, seriously, like, I understand how you can be at the point of brink, like, I'm gonna get this money by tomorrow, okay? Legally or illegally.
Legally or illegally, we gonna get that money.
When we got the background on all of her jobs, I thought it was insightful to know where she went wrong on the one job, where she ended up getting caught, where she succeeded in the job of retrieving the painting, and kind of how that all culminated. But I wish we would have got there sooner. So, like, for me, I didn't start enjoying this book until the last maybe 50 to 70 pages or so. And I felt like as a reader, that just took too long. And I understand that you're building the story, especially in the genre of thriller and suspense that we've got to build. But there should have been some quicker building. I think one critical piece to Evie's plot and her whole story is Devin. And I don't know, but in my head, Devin was definitely black. And I kept picturing like Sticky from the Proud Family, how he was always like the tech genius. I don't know why, but he was black, okay? But if she didn't have Devin, where would she have been? Because on the mission that she did do well with, it was Devin. And I'm all for outsourcing work, because sometimes you need to pay somebody else to do something better than you. So I'm all for that, but I wish he would have got his flowers a little bit. One piece of the story that didn't wrap up completely for me was the fact that Rachel had been this is Ryan's friend Rachel, had been so standoffish towards Evie. And then when she finally realized who Evie was, didn't seem as though there was any culmination into that relationship. No sympathy, no remorse. It was kind of like, I'm just going to do this job and get you off type of thing. Like, she sat there with her in the room when they were doing the interrogation in Atlanta, but it seems like her edges should have softened, right? And I just wish we could have got that more, because be a girl's girl. As Evie was on this trek to Atlanta, what I appreciated was how we were getting the backstory of where her criminal mastermind was going. So, yes, I need to stop here because I need to pick up something. Yes, I need to stop here because I need to make sure Mr. Smith knows that I'm coming. Yes, I need to do this because I need to alert I got to put pressure on Mr. Smith. When I tell you, my mouth dropped to the floor when when George and Ryan were outside of the motel. Because at this point in the book, I felt as though Ryan was also one of Mr. Smith's employees. And so as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where we see that they both work for, quote unquote, Mr. Smith. My mouth completely dropped to the floor, and I love that she got out of there. No questions asked. It wasn't like, I'm going to wait around for Ryan to come back so we could talk it out. Nope, you're gone. You're gone. Because now I don't know you. I can't trust you. Goodbye. That is, yeah. We don't wait around for conversation. We just go about that action. And I liked that. Okay. Now, in my opinion, the star of this book is Amy Holder. Okay. Amy Holder is the star of this title. And I say that because when Evie or Luca or whomever decided that they were now going to air out Mr. Smith, when she approached Amy and they started getting the ball rolling, the chapter that tells you about Evie being, or Amy being Evie's mark, and how she was calling her out at the bar and doing all that, Amy played her part so well. Because as I was reading this, I just thought Amy was crazy. And so, of course, she needs to be taken out. Of course, you need to, get her off the grid because she's crazy. But she played her part to a T, to where they were able to get Mr. Smith in just the right position. Loved it. Amy is the star of the show. And the way I knew that Amy wasn't dead, here we go, is when they were sitting in the interrogation room and, they're trying to paint her as this drunk. And they said there's something in that text that alluded to the cigarette hitting the the cigarette hitting the bed, but it never said anything about it engulfing a human, or like when she was retelling that story, she wasn't saying she was engulfed in flames. She said the room was engulfed in flames. So I was like, okay, Amy's not dead. Amy's going to come back out at some point. Because in that retelling, in that interrogation room, I was like, the way she chose those words, she's not dead. And lo and behold, Amy wasn't dead. So that was my one signifier that I was able to tell in this whole story, because I had no clue that they was trying to air out Mr. Smith, and had no clue that Mr. Smith was going to be goddamn George. Okay? George, of all people, the person that she's in the most contact with, developing this kinship with, ready to sit down and have a drink with him, and he, Mr. Smith. Now, in my opinion, that didn't wrap up well. And so this is why the book fell flat for me at the end, and I only ended up giving it 3.5 stars, because, okay, you've aired out who this man is. You got him in the position you want him in. And we don't know what happens. So we can only assume that this mob family has chopped him up. But what really happened? Why didn't you tell us? Like, why wasn't it like a breaking news alert? Or why wasn't it something that could give the reader some insight into what happened with him? Because you done dragged me along this whole journey of trying to figure out who the hell Mr. Smith is. And now we know it's George. And I have to imagine that he got chopped up? No, tell me. Head found on the porch of a whoop-de-whoop-whoop. Like, tell me those kind of things. Because we've gotten this far, you might as well give me all the details. And so I felt like it just didn't wrap up well on that front. And I wish it was just a little more in that capacity. All in all, it was a good read. It was a quick read. It didn't take me very long to finish this title. I would be curious to see what else Ashley has in her repertoire, to really dive into some of her other work. I'm not sure what's out there. I will have to take a look. I do have the link to this book down in the description box, so you could go ahead and get your copy. I do recommend reading it. It is a good book. I could definitely see this becoming adapted for television one day. So I always like to stay on top of the ones that get adapted for TV. So go ahead and pick up your copy today. Be sure to also follow Candace with a K Reads over on Instagram. And I will see you in my next video. Peace.